I got you, sir.
Yes, sir. See you next week.
Ain't got time, say better.
I guess you don't speak to other Negroes that are not into nature. The young lady did just left. But that's okay. That's cool. Sometimes, you got to start at the bottom and
probably
go
just overlooked you. That's all. Don't take it personal.
I do, but it's okay.
Who's the featured artist, man?
Tonight we feature the music of Sheep.
Sheep?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
But it's okay. I understand. I mean, I'm not in the nation.
Hey.
But I do go to church. I am a church deacon and stuff. No, it's okay. It's okay, sister. It's cool.
Hi.
You didn't think nobody was in here. You thought the equipment was running itself.
No, there was another guy. I didn't know who you were. Where's the other guy that started with us?
How you doing? Oh. Dr. Al Greer. He takes over.
Hey, how you doing, Doctor?
Yes.
I'm not in the nation either. How you doing?
It's okay. I mean, I'm used to getting ignored. I'm like, if I ain't got no suit on, they just walk right past me.
I was just like, oh. But it was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
And saying goodbye to you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care, Doc.
All right, take care. I'll see you next week.
Hi, everybody. It's Tommy Edwards. And now you are listening to the B-Sides with Dr. Al Greer on 1690 WVON.
Get on down and party.
She wasn't that cute anyway, so it ain't no big deal. They kill me with that. I'm like, okay. How y'all doing? Woo. And sisters are always talking about ain't no good men out here. So I guess she don't like men. I don't know. I'm just saying. The man sitting here and she gonna walk past me, but that's cool. I understand. I mean, even the Hispanic woman talked to me. I'm like, I don't get it. Our own sisters don't talk to me. It's cool. It's all right. It's all right. Am I offended? Yes, I am. And then she tried to make it seem like it was my thing. I was like, okay, you thought the equipment was running itself. Okay. She had her back to me the whole time. I know. Let it go, Al. Let it go. But it's cool. Oh, I can see. It's a miracle. She said, I didn't know who you were. I'm like, he just said my name. He said next, the B-sides, flipping the 45s and playing the B-sides with Dr. Al Greer. I guess if I was Ramonski Love or Crazy Howard McGee, she'd have been on her knees. Ugh. I know. Let it go, right? Sheila Forrest. Latanya Lynn Garrett. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm glad I got you all. At least you all don't ignore me like I'm street scum or something like that, like I'm some bum on on Cermak bacon for crumbs and stuff. But to each his own, right? Now we know the headphones work. 1690 WVON, the talk of Chicago. Good morning and welcome to the B-Sides. It's your Dr. Al Greer officially checking in. Good morning to all my B-Siders, my M-Squatters, my third shifters, and of course my dusty insomniacs who hold me down each and every night as I flip the 45s and try to adjust this mic on 1690 WVON. Good morning to Sheila Forrest, also to LaTanya Lynn Garrett. Thank you so much for holding me down, ladies. You all know when it's a real man present. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anyway, our phone number here is 773-591-1690. Get your request in right now. And of course, I'll tell you who the spotlight artist is later on. Right now, it's a taste of honey and Boogie Oogie Oogie on the B-Sides on 1690 WVON. Yeah, she was kind of rude there. I'm like, okay. I'm like, the man said my name and she walked past anyway. If I'd have said bang, 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 ski, 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 she'd have been like, oh my God. I know. Let it go. I know. But my thing is, when you're in somebody's house, you speak to everybody. You just do. She walked right past. Now, what if the other guy had been sitting here before I got on? She didn't say nothing to him either. She would have just walked past him too. I guess we're the hired help. We just, and I say this all the time. I'm like one step above the janitor. And that's just it, there's a show that comes on Friday. Buchanan and Seaton, I think that is. And one of the guys came in, he's like, I want to cut a promo and this, that, and the other. So he came in, he cut the promo and everything else. He said, what's your name? I said, Al Greer. He said, oh, okay. So the next time he came in to cut a promo for his show, he was like, I know who you are now, brother, and I apologize. And I was taken, I was taken off guard then, because I build up my shield, and it's like, okay, they don't know who I am. They think I'm just somebody that came out of Illinois Media School, and they just placed me in here for nothing. And that's just it. Every now and then I have to swallow my pride. I have to put my ego in my back pocket. But it's like when it's something that's that simple, just saying goodnight to the person who is running the equipment for you, answering the phones and making sure that we stay on the air. She could have just, she could have waved or whatever, but she made a big deal out of it because, there's a possibility she may not even like men. I'm just saying, since this whole this coming out of the closet thing, it's like, okay, I understand. Okay, cool. You was in there with two other guys who were with the nation. It's like, look, I'm not with the nation. I'm just, I'm of the nation. Even if I do go into the mosque on Stony Island, they know who I am. The last time I was in there was for Wali Muhammad's funeral. And, I know the drill. I come in there, it's like going to City Hall. It's like going to 26 in California. You empty out your pockets and all of that stuff. And, I followed suit. I didn't come in there with no attitude because, the fruit of Islam, they don't play. Like the brother was saying earlier, they don't use guns. They use their hands. Guns jam. Hands don't jam. They're, hola, they're trained from the time that they're kids to use their hands. It's part of their training there. And yeah, they checked me at the door and everything else. But guess what? When it was all over with, they knew who I was. I was like, oh, how'd they know who I was? They said, brother Wali talked about you all the time. I said, he talked about me. I never thought anything of it. When I was over at the Salam restaurant, same thing. They had like the repast at the Salam restaurant, same thing. I don't think the world of myself. We took pictures last week, right? And I was talking to one of my coworkers, my sister from another Mr. Samantha Thomas. She said, how'd you like the pictures? I said, I didn't like any of them. I take that back. Out of about 10 or 12 of them, I liked maybe 2. I'm not, I didn't like them. I just didn't. I just didn't. It's just, maybe it could have been my poses, or to me, they look lifeless. Like, I look like a mannequin or whatever, As a matter of fact, I looked at one of the pictures. I said, as I had my hat, and I said, welcome to hell. That's what I look like. I look like Lucifer. I'm like, welcome to hell, ladies and gentlemen. So, I'm always getting, you're handsome, you look good for your age, this, that, and the other. So when a woman walks past me, I'm like, okay, well, maybe, those other people, were blind. But, it's like, different strokes for different folks. Everybody's got a different, a taste in men. And I understand it. It's like, the young folks, they like the guys with the big long beards and stuff, looking like Gaddafi, looking like what's the guy that had something to do with 9/11? Yeah, that guy. With the long beards and stuff. I was like, that's not, to me, growing up on 47th Street, all the guys were well kept. If they had beards, they were real trim. They were lined up and everything else. Yeah, Paul Bunyan. Yeah, it's like, what's with these long ass beards? They look, they look crazy. It's like, trim that stuff. Make it look neat. At least if you're gonna have a long one, at least trim it. Make it look neat. I'm constantly trimming mine. I got scissors in the truck, and I'm constantly, doing the same thing. I'm, if there's a hair out of place on my mustache or in my beard or whatever, I cut it. That's just me. So, I'm always mindful of, how my appearance is and how I come across to people, But if they rub me the wrong way, then it's like, okay, I'm done with you too. So every now and then, it's like, hey, my thing is, you speak to everyone, whether you like to or not, whether you like them or not, you speak to everyone. And then later on, you say what you want to say about them. But it's like, yeah, she was very, and my thing is, because there was this guy, I think it was last week. I said, oh, and I get in my feelings. I said, well, I guess you didn't grow up with no radio in your crib, huh? I've been on the radio for 40 years. I never heard it. I said, you heard of Herb Kent, right? I said, well, you heard of me. Maybe not in the same sense or whatever, but my name is usually mentioned in the same breath sometimes. So it depends, I guess, on where you are. But every now and then it's like, I like to get my accolades so I can at least be humble. It's like some people don't give me a chance to be humble. It's like, oh, well, thank you. Like Brother Omar, he's always complimenting me. And that's what brothers do. They compliment each other. We don't hate each other. It's like, oh, this Negro always got a suit on. Or he always, always got that hat on or whatever. It's like, growing up on 47th Street, all of them had on hats. Everybody was well dressed. They would have, the white shirts on and slacks and, the stingy brim straw hats, and they'd be clean. They'd all be, retired and not doing anything and not going anywhere, but they'd be clean standing on the block, and that's the way it was. And that's where I guess I get my style from. My daddy, up until the time he got older, he was always dressed. And, my uncle, he would like, I don't know where he got that stuff from, that plaid shirt and stuff. He didn't used to dress like that. I said, well, he didn't got old and everything else. So he ain't got nowhere to go. But when my dad would go out, he would always be clean. He'd have on a two-piece suit or whatever. But, Brother Mandine, I always, and he sells suits, so he better look good because he sells suits, even if he's wearing a two-piece. I give credit where credit is due, and that's it. Originally, they were called the Big Apple Band, and then that name was already taken by someone else. They started out as Luther's backup group. They came to prominence back in the early 70s. They became producers as well as performers, and probably some of the best music to come out of the 70s and early 80s. Tonight, we flip the 45s on Bernard Edwards and Nile Rodgers, also known as Chic, and of course, Lucy and Alpha too, on 1690 WVON. It's your Dr. Al Greer flipping the 45s and playing the B-sides. Anyway, but that's just it. You give a brother their props. You build black men up. As much as you all talk about how bad we are at times, I mean, when you do see a guy that's trying to do something, build them up, ladies. Like I said last night, there's some bad guys and then there's some good guys, and I like to think of myself as one of the good guys. I praise women. I hold them up to a high esteem because growing up, I didn't hate my mother. I didn't hate my grandmother. I didn't hate any of my aunties. I loved women, which is why I remember the first time I went to therapy. This was a long time ago. I was dating this girl named Karen. And she said, well, I think you need to go see a therapist. I was like, oh, what? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Steve Harvey. You never see him on TV not dressed. But anyway, so she sent me to therapy because she thought, there was something wrong with me. So I went to this lady therapist in Hyde Park. And the the lady asked me, so why do you hate women? I was like, huh? Where did that come from? I said, ma'am, I'm not here because of that. And I'll tell you, I love women from the top of their head to the bottom of their feet. I love them and everything in between. I love how they walk, how they smell, when they talk, all of that. I said, I was raised by some of the greatest women who ever walked the earth. My mother and my grandmother, my aunties. I got an auntie, Phyllis. She had, I think, 7 or 8 children. And she'd be on the phone talking and mixing up food in the kitchen and slapping kids at the same time and wouldn't miss a beat. Wouldn't burn no food, wouldn't drop the phone or nothing. One hand she's holding the phone, the other hand she was whooping kids and you know, and whipping up dinner, you know. And that's just it. That's where I come from. Strong ass women, which is why I have a problem with some women who claim to be strong, but they're not. Some of them have low self-esteem, or some of them were not raised with strong men in their lives. You know, she may have grown up without a father, so she had to find her own way. She wasn't a daddy's girl. I was a mama's boy, and 9 times out of 10, mama was right. Daddy may not have always been right. He may have said he was right, but 9 times out of 10, mom was the one that ran the house. Dad would make the money. He'd bring it home. He put the paycheck in front of mom. She put it in the bank and she write out the checks. That's what she did. Which is why she had an excellent credit score and they could go in any store and buy anything on credit, because she believed in paying the bills on time. Like we say, she paid the bills like white folks. And I believe in that. If the bill is due on this date, then now you can post date it and say, okay, pay it on the 15th. And that's what I do. I have credit cards and the money comes right out of the account on the day it's supposed to come. And that's it. But, and I get it. Sometimes they grow up without a daddy, without a father, without an uncle who is in that capacity as a dad. Some of us, didn't have dads, didn't have fathers, but we had uncles who were around who could still guide us as well as a father. Uncle Daddy is what we call him. Like with my daughter, Brianna, her father passed when she was like 5, 6 years old. So she didn't grow up with a father. She didn't get a father figure until her mother and I married 5 years ago. And she calls me daddy. I am her daddy, not stepdaddy, not you married my mama, none of that. When she sends me a request for the Cash App, daddy is for me. Daddy is me. Daddy. Daddy, 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 daddy. And I love it. Most men would run from a responsibility like that. Most men don't accept the responsibility. When you marry into a family, you married everybody, not just that woman, but whomever she had. My son, her son, their son. That's my son. Ahmad is mine. I don't care what nobody else says. You can say what you want. He has a father. Okay. Where is he? What does he do? Okay. Where he at? And that's just it. And I love it. I love to be called daddy. I love to be called uncle because it's a respect thing. It's something that I learned growing up. You don't call a man by his first name if you're a kid. If you down here and he's a 6 foot tall or 7 foot tall man or whatever, I'm just exaggerating. Ain't no 7 foot tall man. But anyway, except Shaq, If he's a grown ass man, you don't call him by his name. Hey, Dennis, what's going on? No, it was Uncle Dennis. You know, it was Uncle whoever. You know, Uncle Jazz, Uncle Dennis, Uncle, what was the other guy? It'll come to me. But those people that were friends of my dad's, they were Uncle somebody. I didn't call them by their first name. Not even when I got grown, they were still Uncle so-and-so. And that's just it. Aubrey, that's what his name was. Aubrey Moore, I never will forget that. And growing up, these were people that worked with my dad at TWA. My dad worked for Playboy. You know, he worked a lot of jobs. And these were his friends. These are the people he hung out with. Hey, Lady G. You know, so you didn't call somebody by their first name back. You gave them the respect. So in turn, I get that respect now, you know. And, you know, a lot of the guys, they just start calling me Uncle Al. I'm like, oh, okay. I'll be that. You know, I appreciate that. You know, like today, the guy, I thought he had left. And that's Jason. And he came back, he brought a friend of his in and introduced his friend to me.
This is a 1690 WVON B-sides double play.
You know, he introduced me as, you know, this man has been in the business for umpteen years. He was on GCI and this and the other. You know, and I didn't expect that. You know, but I appreciate it. You know. You know, I appreciate everything. It's like, you know, respect is not given, respect is earned. And I feel like I have earned the respect of these people. You know, I really do. They respect me. Ken Watlington, what's going on? That's right. Put some respect on my name. And that's just it. Until I tell them to call me otherwise, then I'm Mr. Greer, Dr. Greer, or Uncle Al. That's it. So, you know, treat me as such, and I will treat you with respect. So that young man that works here, that comes on, that's in here before I am, you know, I appreciate him. You know, I appreciate the respect that I get because I'm going to give it right back to you. You know, case in point, you all heard of the Bad Boys, right? Diz from the Bad Boys, he calls me Uncle Al. Uncle Al, who made this song? Uncle Al. I got a Chris Bass, Nigella. Hey, Nigella. The other day, I got a call from DJ Phantom. He said, Uncle Al, I ain't your uncle. Okay. All right. Yes, nephew. Now, this young man, he gets like more money than me for DJing. And he called and asked me about a song, which I'm going to play tonight. Come with me now. And he started singing the song, and I started singing it right along with him. He's like, you know what song I'm talking about. I said, I certainly do. But it's that respect that I get from others. You know, like with Chris Bass. You know, people see him and they say, hey, professor. He taught at Illinois Media School. So naturally, he gets his respect. people see him and they're like, hey, professor, I ain't seen you in a while, this, that, and the other. So, so that's just it. It's about respect. And we don't give that to each other. There's going to be a time. I'm going back to the young lady now. There's going to be a time where our paths will cross again. And she's going to need me. She's got this little thing going on. She's going to need me. Our paths are going to cross, and she's going to need to rent some equipment or whatever it is. And that's it. And of course, being the gentleman that I am, I will probably help her, as I've helped other people in the past. My son used to go to this DJ class. Now, I didn't know he was going to enroll in the DJ class. So they had the little, what they call controllers, which is nothing but a glorified mouse or a digital turntable. And, well, let me go back, Nigella. There was a young lady who was on the talk show earlier. And instead of saying, good night, sir, or coming in to introduce herself, she just walked straight out. I'm like, so I told the host, I said, look, I didn't sleep with that girl last night. The protocol is to say, well, how you doing, sir? Whether you've heard of me or not, hey, you speak to everybody. Well, I thought the other guy was still here. I said, well, he ain't. I'm here. She caught a little attitude. As women do. She caught an attitude. I'm like, okay. Well, you do you, boo. Whatever gets you through the night, you do you. But I was always taught when you come into a room or you leave a room, you always speak. Whether you think you have arrived or not, you're supposed to speak. That's right, when you enter and exit a room. And she walked right past me. I'm like, okay. So next week when she comes, she'll probably have an attitude, a chip on her shoulder, because I checked her. I said, look, I'm not with the Nation of Islam or whatever, but I'm a human being too. And I deserve the respect that I should be getting in a radio station, having been in a radio station since I was a kid. Once again, and I always use them as an example, if I was Ramonski Love or Crazy Howard McGee, she'd have been all over me. She'd have been drooling on my Stacey Adams. Yes, I'm wearing Stacey Adams tonight. I got to open the church in the morning. But anyway, so, that's right. It's manners. You speak to a person, I'm not dressed like a bum, and I didn't ask her for no change. But, and even if I did, or, dress like a bum or whatever, they still deserve respect. And she, she probably hugged and kissed all over them, but, she kept her distance with me, and don't give me that COVID jive. Everybody up in here has been vaccinated twice. So, and don't give me that I ain't never heard of you. It's like, well, I guess you didn't grow up with no radio in your crib, huh? At least people remember me being on GCI, Whispers in the Dark. Those that are older, they remember 1390 and WJPC, which are stations that I've worked at. So, Lady G. So, my thing is, you speak to everybody. Everybody deserves respect, whether you want to give it to them or not. And it's all about common courtesy. Coming into a room, leaving a room, hello and goodbye. And that's it. And she did. And, But I felt totally disrespected by her. Totally disrespected. I'm like, okay. So you know, and that's just it. She was really petty with it. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't grow up with a radio in my house. We grew up poor, so I couldn't afford to listen to you or whatever. You know, humble yourself. You ain't up there yet because I ain't never heard of you. You know, if it was Jill Scott up in here, you know me, I'd be on my knees because I love me some Jill Scott. You know, I give respect where respect is due, but I respect everybody. That's why I started. That's right. That's why I put doctor in front of my name because people kept calling me DJ. I'm like, I'm not your DJ. Ain't no D or J in my name. Those other fools can call themselves DJ this and DJ that. I'm Dr. Al Greer. I'm not DJ Al Greer. I passed DJ status a long time ago. Put some respect in front of my name. Doctor. And that's it. That's what they call me at church. My pastor calls me Dr. Greer. My boss, when I was working at someplace else over on 111th and Ashland, he started calling me Dr. Greer. And people in the club, they would run to the managers. It's like, the DJ ain't saying nothing to me. I kept saying DJ. It's like, because that's not his MF name. His name is Dr. Al Greer. You wouldn't call Herb Kent DJ. You's a fool if you do. Let him call himself a DJ. You don't say that. That's like, hey, mechanic. Hey, fry guy. Hey, flip my burger on the other side and cook the other side. You respect everybody. Everybody. Especially people that are fixing your food. Hey, Habib. You'll never hear me say that. They can spit in your food as soon as you turn around. Don't disrespect, especially people that are making your food. I give them the utmost respect. Would you like lemon pepper on that? No, thank you, sir. I cannot eat lemon pepper, for I am a diabetic. So I cannot eat the lemon pepper. But I do appreciate you offering it. That's it. You fixing my food. I came to your restaurant. You didn't come to my house to cook. I came to your place to eat. So therefore, you get my respect. Whether your name is Habib, Habab, Punjab, or whatever, you never hear me call you out your name. I ain't gonna say who said it, but sometimes they say, yeah, them Julios ain't nothing. They only good for cutting grass and stuff. I say, whoa, them Julios. Do you know my name's Alonzo? That's an Hispanic name. You just insulted me, part of me. No. Them Julios. Oh, no. Oh, that'll never do. Let's go down to Jewtown. Oh, no. We can't. There is no Jewtown. That's Maxwell Street. I got checked on that. I worked for a guy by the name of Michael Ramelsberg. He said, and I quote, you wouldn't call 47th Street Niggerville, would you? No, it's Bronzeville. He said, well, don't call Maxwell Street Jewtown. I was like, oh, well, we've always called it Jewtown growing up. Now you know. Now you know. We don't like it. Freak Out. They wrote that song while standing outside of Studio 54 after they were asked to leave. They're like, well, we got to go. He said, you can't come in here. They said, why not? So they left and they sat outside and they wrote that song, Le Freak. It was called something else that I cannot say on the radio. And they changed it to Freak Out instead of F off. That's a true story. And I'm Herb Kent. It's your Dr. Al Greer flipping the 45s and playing the B-sides on Luther and Change on 1690 WVON as we flip the 45s and play the B-sides. Make sure, I say to my grandson, respect me as his grandmother. He should say Grandma Sheila, not Sheila. No, they should never call you by your first name. You know, as old as I was, as long as my mother lived, I never called her by her first name. Never. When she was a teacher at my school, she was always either Mrs. Greer or Mama Greer. They never called her by her first name. They always respected my mother. And that was one thing that I said at her memorial service. I said she could walk down the street and they were parked while she was walking down the street. She got her respect. I said, I hope one day that I can get that kind of respect. I was like, wow. I mean, they would part like the Red Sea when my mother walked down the street. Here come Mama Greer, y'all. You know, straighten up. You know, they be sitting there cussing and drinking and smoking and everything else. They put them blunts out when she walked down the street. I guarantee you. You know, they put them blunts down for my mama. I was like, wow, I've never seen anything like it. If I hadn't have been walking with her, I never would have understood. I never would have known that that's what they did. And that's what I said at her memorial service. She got her respect. And I deserve the respect that I give to other people. I deserve it back. And that's it. That's it. That's all. That lady was wrong. She was wrong as two left shoes at Community on 87th Street. I ain't gonna let it go. Nope. Ain't gonna let it go. Yeah. Like when I'm, DJing or something, and they say, oh, well, if you want to eat, sit at one of the tables. Okay. I said, how y'all doing? My name is Dr. Al Greer. I'm the DJ. I never say DJ Al Greer. And once they say, hey, DJ, I said, no, I introduced myself as doctor. I said, and I'm the DJ. But please don't call me DJ. And I won't call you fat ass. Or I won't call you one eye. Or I won't call you four eyes. I won't call you thank you. Oh, you get very sensitive about that. I get very sensitive about that. And that's it. I'm not your equal. And that's just it. I'm until then, you put some respect on my name. You respect me, and I will give you respect back. And that's just it. You know. You will get respect out of me. Just give me mine. You know, whether whether you like me or not. You know, like I said, yeah, right, fat ass. So you know, like I said, when I sit, you know, at a table somewhere and I'm eating, you know, I introduce myself. Hi, I'm Dr. Al Greer. I'm the DJ. And that's it. And after that, then, you know, expect to get checked, you know, and checked well, because DJ ain't my name. Yep. But yep, that's a given. You know, when I meet these celebrities out here, y'all always hear me talk about Marshall Thompson. He ain't my uncle, but he's Uncle Marshall. And that's it. That's all he'll ever be. Uncle Marshall. Uncle Marshall, Uncle Squirrel, Brother Eugene, and Red, whom I never met. Brother Eugene. Because that's what he called me. Brother Greer, Brother Record, Uncle Marshall, Uncle Squirrel. That's it. Everybody gets their respect from me. If he says, okay, well, you can call me Marshall. Okay, Marshall. But he never said that. He's always been Uncle Marshall for as long as I've known him. And it goes back to 1976. When I saw them perform at Perv's house on 79th Street. He's always been Uncle Marshall, Uncle Squirrel, Brother Record. That's it. That's it. Did I call Herb Kent by his first name? Oh, no, I didn't. Godfather. That was it. Godfather, Uncle Richard, Uncle Rags, Uncle Steele. That's Richard Steele. Never hear me call them by their first names. I better not. And all the record reps that ever brought music to the radio stations, always been the same thing. Uncle this, Uncle that, Uncle him, Uncle her. Well, Auntie her. Except for Pat Edwards. She's the only one. Pat is just Pat. You know. And I don't want to go into that. But you know, Pat, I lost respect for her a long time ago, but that's another story. You know, I heard something that she did. I was like, ooh, I wish she'd have done that to me. Anyway, but yeah, respect never goes out of style. You know, respect everybody until they are not to be respected, and that's it. Until they're not to be respected, until they do something that's disrespectful to you, then you take all that respect back. That's what I did with certain people. Not gonna say her name again. Not gonna give her that much, you know. You know, she probably, what did I do? What did I do? You know what you did. You know what you did and continue to do it. But that's cool. I understand. I understand. You know, some people just don't know any better. When you know better, you do better. Correct? Am I right? When you know better, you do better. Yeah. You know, for as long as I've been in the business, it's always been about respecting people, whether they deserved it or not. Hey, Felicia Lucas Miles, my sister from another mister. Hey, Fifi. How's my baby doing? Well, she not a baby no more. Like I keep saying, she gonna be as tall as you all are. So she got tall parents. She gonna get it honest. She gonna go from volleyball to playing basketball and probably dunk on Shaq. But let her know how proud I am of her, and I want to see her soon before the summer is over with. So, but yeah, respect is not given. Respect is earned. It certainly is. Ooh, it's the 1st of September. Summer is almost over. Mm-mm-mm. I was thinking about that today. I didn't get a chance to do anything with my wife this summer. What you said, good riddance. Yep. No walks on the beach, no walking hand in hand, none of that stuff. Oh well. I should be used to it right by now, right? I should be used to it. But I can't get used to that. I just can't, you know. But I guess it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So, you know, whether I get used to it or not, it is what it is, and it's going to stay that way until it changes. So, uh, it's until I get sick and tired of being sick and tired. So that's it. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. So that's it. That's it. Good. I did go home once. I did go home once. So who knows? Don't forget to share the live video, ladies and gentlemen, and that ticker tape at the bottom. You know, make sure you adhere to that. Hey, Michelle. Michelle's still recovering from her party, her soiree. How you doing, sugar? Hey, Holly. Same song, different artist. That is Walter Jackson from Chicago by way of Pensacola, Florida. That is Magic Man. Before that, Robert Winters in Fall and his version of Magic Man. Right here on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON, Berwyn, Chicago. You're doing better. I'm glad. I am glad. You know, I know you were kind of, you know, out of sorts on your birthday, but, you know, I know you wanted to have that birthday so bad, that party so bad. And you did it. You did it. Hey, Holly. How are you, Holly? Holly Jennings. Don't forget to share the live video, ladies and gentlemen, on your page. So it'll look like, you know, a lot of people are watching me. And maybe that young lady will give me some respect. I doubt it, though. But anyway. But I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Don't forget, like I said, to share the live video. Don't forget that little ticker tape at the bottom. Donations are welcome via the Cash App at $ Al P. Greer. So and once again, like the like the preachers always say, you know, the money don't go to me. The money goes to those that are closest to me. And that's it. It goes to my children. You know, I don't need for anything. You know, when I go to get something, you know, I go to the dollar store. If it's something for me, I go to the dollar store. Like today, I spent a whole $3 on myself. I bought some hair gel. I bought some alcohol, so when I shave, and it was one other thing. Right. What'd you say? The building fund. Yeah, the building fund. Yeah. Yep, the building fund. Yep. That's right, the building fund. It says the B-sides with Dr. Al Greer on WVON. Donations are welcome via the Cash App, $ Al P. Greer.
Tools that are helpful in everyday life. I'm Lisa Chapman, along with Ray Harris, on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
The Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. Live from the Xfinity Studios at WVON.
ELO!
1690 WVON.
It's mine. Do 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 do.
I tell you, it's mine. Do 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 do.
I'll share it with you.
WVON, Kids and Her Radio.
Here's your peanut butter brother. I'm going to Pongo. But right here, this is Al Greer with the B-sides on 1690 WVON.
Good morning, ELO. And they say I don't have no listeners. That's cute. Yeah, my boss says I don't have any listeners. He's such a hater. I almost said the bad word. He's such a hater. He is. You know. He asked Samantha Thomas, how you go from having no phone calls to your calls being packed? Instead of saying, you're doing a great job. I mean, your listenership has increased, you know, but he's a hater. That's all, you know. He grew up listening to white radio. So therefore, you know, Landecker and Lou Jack and Surratt, you know, he kisses their asses. And that's cool. I understand. You know, he's not friends with any of us on Facebook. And that's cool too. You know, I understand. But it's cool. You know, sometimes you got to do what you do. You got to be you. You know, and my mom always said, she said, be the best you can be. I I remember when I wanted to be he is. Yeah. When I wanted to be an exotic dancer, she said, "Oh, I don't know." She said, "Well, you be the best dancer you can be." I was like, "Whoa." Did she like sign off on me being a stripper? But that's the way she was, you know. She said, "Be the best dancer you can be." She would never say stripper or exotic dancer. She said, "Will you be the best stripper you can be?" I said, "Okay, Mom." And that's it. Who's this? Oh, my boss. He don't have no name. You know, I'm like Howard Stern. He's pig vomit, so he don't need no name. But that's okay. You know, keep on. Yes, really, a stripper. Yes, I was a stripper. I'm sorry, male exotic dancer. That's what I was. Yes, I did, and I'm not ashamed of it. That's what I did, and I was good at it. I really was. You were brave enough to bring your dream job aspirations to your mom. Yeah. And guess what? She helped me make my costumes. But that was it, you know. She was very, how can I put it? What was my stage name? Risque. She was very supportive of everything that I did. Everything. You know, if I robbed the bank, she said, "Will you be the best bank robber you can be? Let's go out and buy you a mask." That's how she was. Very encouraging. Anything I decided to do, you know. Well, Mom, I think I want to go into to porn. Well, you be the best porn boy you can be. Like, Mom, yeah, you do that girl good. Okay. All right, Mom. Very supportive of everything that I ever did. But she was but she was even more supportive when I decided to go into radio and to be a DJ. Well, first it was DJ and then radio later. So she was very supportive of that. As a matter of fact, my mom was my first roadie. She would put, you know, she would help me move records, crates of records. And that's what she did. She would help me move crates of records. My mom, she would help me move equipment. She was my first roadie. Against my father's better judgment, she would take the family car and I would put speakers and records and everything in the family car. And she would take me to some of my gigs. She sure did. She certainly did. Until I got my first vehicle, which was an Illinois Bell van that they bought off of a lot on 50-something in Western. It was Irv's truck land. And I think we paid $900 for that truck. I had saved up all my money from all the gigs that I did. And I gave my parents the money and they went in there and cut the deal. And all I did was drive it home. And I had to park it because I didn't have no insurance on it. So they got insurance on the truck. They added me on to their insurance and I could only drive it on the weekends. Well, I didn't have nothing to drive during the week. I'm like, see, they said, well, my mom said, well, you be careful because you're only insured to be a part-time driver on this truck. I said, but I paid for it. I gave them the money. They went in and they signed the deal. You know, I was like, 18, 19 years old. I couldn't buy nothing. But that was my first vehicle, an Illinois Bell truck. And my father helped fix it. He he put carpet on the inside so I could slide the speakers in better. he had like these carpet squares. First, he put down some plywood, attached the plywood to the floor, the inside of the van, and then he put the plywood on top of that and used staples to staple the plywood down. Stapled the carpet squares down to the plywood. And that's how I got the equipment in and out. Now, the outside of it, it was an eyesore, kind of like what I'm driving now. And that was it. But Mom, she was my biggest cheerleader. And that was it. You do what you want to do. Do what you think you want to do. You know, when she took me out of piano lessons, she said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Mom, I think I want to teach myself." "Are you sure?" "Okay. Well, you be the best teaching yourself piano that you can be." And I went from piano to drums to bass to guitar to trombone in high school. She said, "Well, you be the best of everything that you want to do." And that was it. Once again, she was my biggest cheerleader and my biggest supporter until the day she died. Let's work, y'all. 1690 WVON, the talk of Chicago. It's your Dr. Al Greer, flipping the 45s and playing the B-sides with the Sugar Hill Gang. This is Eighth Wonder. In the Big Bang Bang. Oh. Cold cash. I was shy with my goals because my mom gave me some tough love a bit. And I wanted to sing and play piano, so I joined the choir and practice playing the piano until the instructor resigned. I took piano lessons from a guy by the name of Michaud, which was on 79th, right off of Jeffrey. And that's where I took my piano lessons. And one day he walked out of the studio and go take a smoke. And I got on the organ and started playing. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm playing the organ." He said, "But that's what I'm here to teach you." I said, "No, you're here to teach me piano. I already know how to play the organ." You know, and that was it. So my mother was like, "Well, no, we ain't gonna waste no money on you learning. You already know." So like, okay. And that was it. And that was it. But you know, whatever it was that I wanted to do, she was very supportive of everything. You name it. You name it. I did it. She supported me wholeheartedly, 100%. Against my father's wishes. My dad did not want me to go into broadcasting. He said, "You ain't no Sid McCoy. You ain't no Al Benson." I said, "Thank God I'm not." I heard what Al Benson sounded like, and no disrespect to A.J. Parker. That was her daddy. No disrespect, but I'm glad I don't sound like Al Parker. Hello, this is your old swing master, bringing you red, hot, and blues. I'm like, no, I'm glad I don't sound like that. But Sid McCoy, oh yeah. Sid McCoy was the announcer of Soul Train. Soul Train, the hippest trip in America. 60 non-stop minutes of music across the tracks of your mind with guest stars. That was him. I said, I'll sound like him, but I won't sound like that other guy. So that was it. That was it. That was all. And now it's been 40 years, and that's it. That's all still. I need some more water. Woo! Good God. I'm so glad that I'm off today. Although nothing stops, even though I'm off, I'm still working. So, yep, I'm always working. Even on my day off, I'm still working. Still working. Never a day off. So that's it. That's it. That's all. Woo-wee. I can't wait for 5 o'clock to get here. That'll be the beginning of my off day.
Yeah.
Mom's was a strict disciplinarian. I had a two-edged sword tongue, which could cut to the quick. End of story. I heard that. I said something to my dad once, and before I knew it, he lifted me up off the floor by my collar. Yep. I knew not to mouth off in front of him. Yep. I knew not to mouth off in front of my dad or to my dad. Yep. I did it once though, and that was it. So my dad was like your mom's, very supportive. Yep. My mom was always supportive of everything that I did. You know, even when she thought it was wrong, the stripping. My stripper's name was Risque. She was like, "What does that mean?" I said, "Spicy, racy, and out of the ordinary." So that was it. She's like, "Well, that's what you want to be, then that's who you are, Risque." So she started calling me Risque. I was like, I thought it was really funny that she called me Risque. So, you know, when I went from being called what my childhood nickname was to using Al Greer, she would combine the two together. I was like, oh, okay. So she would combine the two together. She was still supportive. She whatever name I went by, that's the one that she addressed me as. And that was it. Yep, that was my mom. Yep. That's how it was with my grown son. He better not talk back. I threatened him with a brawl, even though he's strong, even though he's stronger. I heard that. Mm-mm. I remember we were out one time. I never will forget this. We were at the Oaklawn Hilton, and my goddaughter Morgan said something to our mama. She was like, "Who you talking to?" I was like, "Oh, she about to get hit. I don't want to see that. I don't see my baby flying to the floor because our mama done swung at her." But Felicia don't play. I was like, "Ooh!" I was like, "Don't hit my child, please. Don't hit my child. Don't hit her, but don't hit her in front of me." Morgan said something, and Felicia was like, "What? Don't get it twisted. I'm still your mama." I was like, "Ooh wee." Mm-mm. When I got pregnant, my mom's was hoping my dad would beat the hell out of me for it. But instead, he took it in stride where mom's was ready to send me 6 feet under. Mm-mm. Ooh-wee. Excuse me. Excuse me for yawning. I'm morning yawning. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. Ah. Mm-mm. Yeah, for real. What did she just print? Oh Lord. I hope she's okay. 1690 WVON, the talk of Chicago. I think I was gonna let part two play, but that's okay. The Ramrods and the Soul Train theme, parts 1 and 2 on 1690 WVON, the talk of Chicago, with your Dr. Al Greer. Tonight we flip the 45s and play the B-sides on Chic. Yeah, I know her post is kind of, yeah. I hope she's okay. You okay over there, sis? Because all I see is VVVV Vic, VVVVC Vic. Okay. All right. Let's hope she's okay. I don't want to have to get no bad calls. Yeah, something isn't right. You okay? Oh, okay. Just checking. Oh, okay. I was checking because your post, you posted something and I was like, what? What's she saying? It's a bunch of letters. It said VVVV something something. Okay, working. That's all I do. I don't know. We still talking, but I'm still not in the house yet. I'm living out in Cal City with my cousin. No, I got kicked out of there too. Well, it's a long story. I'll tell you about that when I get off the air tomorrow. But yeah, I got kicked out of that. Well, it was mutual. It wasn't like I got kicked out. But yeah, I'm on Chappelle with my cousin. Yeah. She, I don't know. You got to ask my wife. I don't know. She said, I asked you to come back last time. You told me you was at home. I said, well, yeah, I was out in Park Forest with old girl. I couldn't just up and leave. Nope. Nope. Yeah, that's real weird. I got her a car. I got her a washer and dryer, helped her get in the house, everything. She kicked me out because of what somebody else said about me. I, s- I said, okay, well, I'm out. Yeah. So she was driving the car. I helped her get. They waited for her to get out the car, and they put that sucker on the flatbed. They knew what time she got home, and they snatched it. I said, see, God don't like ugly. Yep. And the car was in my name. Yep. Oh well. Nope. Nope. Still out the crib. Okay. I'm glad, and I'm glad you're okay. And okay. Okay. All right. Bye bye. She fell on the keyboard. That's what it was. And she kept hitting the VVVV at the bottom. So she fell on the keyboard. But she's okay. I called her Lady G. We just got off the phone. So she's all right. She said, I'm a retired lady. I stay up all times of the night. I said, all right, sis. I ain't mad at you. So, yep, she's all right. She's doing fine. Mm-mm. Yeah, because something didn't look right. All those VVVs and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, she fell asleep on the keyboard. You're welcome. You're welcome, sis. All right, don't go nowhere. I got to go to the bathroom. I've been drinking water all night. Don't go nowhere. I'm back. Yep, Lady G said, call her right now. Call her. Mm-mm. Oh, Lord, help me. Help me, Lord. Help me. Woo. That scared me too, Lady G. I'm like, what's going on here? My forbidden lover. Gustavo Garcia. Who's that? Did you talk to her? Yes, I did. Absolutely. Forbidden lover. See, that's what we do. We watch out for each other. That's what we do. 1690 WVON, the talk of Chicago. Tonight we feature the music of Chic, and this guy used to sing with Chic. As a matter of fact, he returned the favor and used a sample of their song on his song. Here's Luther and Shine on 1690 WVON with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, on 1690 WVON. Time to shine. It's your time to shine. You're my superstar. Tell me what you got. Time to shine. Mm-mm. Your time to shine. Mm-hmm. Anything you want done, baby. Trolling. Huh. Woo! Woo! So I was messing around one night in my studio, and I was like, I should remix that song. I was bored. What can I say? Same song, different artists. Shaka Khan and, of course, Whitney Houston. I'm Every Woman on 1690 WVON, the talk of Chicago. It's your Dr. Al Greer, flipping the 45s and playing the B-sides, as I do every night here on the talk of Chicago. Hello to Lady G, also to Felicia Lucas Miles, Sheila Forrest. Thank you so much for checking in on Facebook. I appreciate it. Coming up in the next hour, music from Phyllis Hyman, Wilson Pickett, Ray Charles, and of course our featured artist, Chic, on 1690 WVON, the talk of Chicago. Dear Dr. Al Greer, flipping the 45s and playing the B-sides on 1690 WVON.
Since the last C-17 lifted off from Hamid Karzai International Airport on August 30th at 3:29 p.m. East Coast time.
The 20-year U.S. military mission in Afghanistan is over, but the war did not end without a heavy cost for America. 2,300 troops died in that war. Then there was the cost of the wounded, which numbered more than 20,000. 800,000 Americans served. And lastly, the financial cost, huge, more than $2 trillion.
The process of giving full approval to Pfizer's coronavirus vaccine for those 16 and older is pushing forward. That's because the CDC advisory group endorsed giving it the full authorization. Next step will come when CDC Director Michelle Walensky looks at the group's action. The FDA has already given its blessing to the vaccine for individuals 16 and older.
The U.S. government is fighting back on school districts banning masks by opening a civil rights investigation. The Education Department argues schools that ban masks are actually violating the civil rights of students by exposing them to COVID, especially students with underlying medical conditions related to their disabilities. Letters went out to schools in Iowa, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Utah. The government says those districts may be discriminating by not providing certain students equal opportunity to education based on their disability.
A Wayne County, Georgia corrections officer was stripped of his uniform, literally, after he was accused of bringing in contraband to prisoners. In a dramatic display, the shirt was cut off, but they're now on their jail guard. The video he was posted on the sheriff's website, then deleted as the gun drive. Handcuffs and the group of sheriff's department staff officials as the shirts cut off with a pair of scissors. This was sent to shame.
Recently, they said
And you probably heard the stereotype that black people can't swim. Well, one black woman is changing that. Alana Lamont is the founder of Black People Will Swim. She is an avid swimmer, even during her college swim team. Stats on the black drowning rate is 40% higher than whites. Black people will swim as many as 10 in New York. The goal is to start chapters around the country and get black people in the water. Lamont always says black people will find they will vacation differently by learning how to swim. For more on these stories and international, national, state, and local news affecting the black community, listen to Black Information Network on the iHeart app or log on to PlayinNews.com. I'm Jaleesa Chapman, along with Rick Harris, on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
All the talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
She's funny. She's witty. She's opinionated.
Rhonda Handler was nominated to be the ambassador of Japan, and I just don't think it's fair that a man who destroyed and had such vengeance against the black community should be rewarded with a very serious humanitarian position to show no humanity to the Kwame Dowell family or victims of violence. As long as it wasn't happening downtown, it was all good.
She's very small. Weekdays at 9 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
The views expressed on our programs are not necessarily those of WVON, Midway Broadcasting Corporation, or our participating sponsors.
Live from the Xfinity Studios at WVON. The Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Well, any time is a good time.
On WVON.
Hey everybody, it's Delvin the Audio Genius. He's flipping the 45s and playing the B-sides. It's Dr. Al Greer on WVON.
101. She could boot it down. Woo! 1690 WVON, the talk of Chicago. I forgot how short or how long that song was. Every time I play that song, it always reminds me of my good friend Donna Lynn Biggs. She should have been one of the sequence. Funk you right on up on 1690 WVON with your Dr. Al Greer flipping the 45s and playing the B-sides on Candy Staten at 591 1690.
Pilot Smart Sock Plus provides you heart rate, oxygen level, and sleep trends right on your phone.
But one time works very differently in the house.
He's just sensitive about his age. I mean, even I don't know the real number.
So I figured it's like 6.5 years ago that you all were filming the pilot for Lucifer. Talk about what your first impression of the show was back then and what sort of unique storytelling you thought it could bring.
Gosh, well, if I think back to the pilot, I think back to one, being very excited about doing it in the first place because I loved the script. I fell in love with the character of Lucifer like by about the third page of my first read of the script. Then I think about Hollywood Boulevard being closed down for 5 nights, like Highland, where the Oscars is basically. We had that for 5 nights, Hollywood and Highland, yeah, closed down for 5 nights in a row, like a massive crew and all this. And I was just thinking, wow, this show's like big. This is like a big thing. It was the movie. I was really excited about how it was going to turn out.
Are you trying to bribe me, sir?
Yes, of course. But did I think I'd be here talking to you in the realms that we're talking these days? Absolutely no way.
I was coming off of Chicago Fire. Tom and I share a very good friend, Jess Spencer, from that show. Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect. I loved the script. And then, right, like Tom said, when we started shooting the pilot, I went, oh, wow, this is bigger scale than really anything I've done. And I just fell in love with the pilot. So that, at first, as you get going, you learn your character so well. You get, you learn the other characters. But at first, it was just, I loved the script.
Lucifer Morningstar. Is that a stage name or something?
God-given, I'm afraid.
I love the idea of Lucifer, Satan, coming up and like living life almost with duality and recognizing humanity. I loved it. But yeah, I would never have imagined it would have come this, us getting canceled on Fox and then the amazing fans who we adore and love saving us and here we are speaking with you. I mean, I don't think Tom or I or really anyone expected that.
Well, let's talk about those fans. When did you first get an inkling that you had this fan base that would be so passionate that when the day came to #save Lucifer, they would help get the job done?
Before we got saved, in that year leading up to it, so when season 3 was sort of on and airing and we were doing that, I'd been to a couple of conventions that year. We played a bit with the structure of the show. And so some of the things that you might have seen on the trailer might not be happening in the present day. No one knew who I was the year before. And then by the time I come out the second year, everyone was like, oh, we love Lucifer, we love Lucifer. And then I realised that it wasn't just there, it was out in the streets and not in the States and not in the UK, but like in Europe and different places going around the world. I was thinking, gosh, this seems a hell of a lot more popular than Fox seem to think it is. I remember having that inkling. I remember thinking when we got cancelled, because I knew about 24 hours before we got cancelled, before it was announced we got cancelled, I found out. No one was allowed to say anything in those moments. And I just thought, I think people are going to be upset. I just didn't count how many. And how I got upset.
How upset, yeah. They got really upset.
Yeah.
And then they saved us.
So now here we are with your extra final season. What can the fans expect from these last 10 episodes?
I mean, God is a big job. Maybe he doesn't want to go in half cocked.
I should definitely be full cocked. I think a fitting goodbye to our characters, it's a luxury to be able to know that you're finishing your story. So we really thought long and hard about how we wanted to end it. And the journey that Chloe and Lucifer have been on up to this point has been great. But this season's kind of new territory for them, where they're working together as a partnership about something that they've never experienced before together. It leans into everything that we've kind of earned up to this moment.
Lauren, did anything surprise you about the final season without spoiling anything?
There were some surprises in there, but what I really liked was the idea of Chloe and Lucifer really being a team, being together for each other as a couple and helping each other out. That's just sort of a different dynamic than we've seen with Chloe and Lucifer. Usually it's kind of this push and pull. But now this last season, we really are on the same team and we're fighting the same battle and we're there for each other. There's good times and bad times like any other couple, right? But we're finally together and that, without spoiling anything, there's a lot for us to work on together as a team and to fight for and strive for.
And in the final season's final moments, what are fans going to be feeling?
I hope they'll be crying. I really hope they'll be sobbing, and then I hope that their hearts will be filled with joy at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's, hopefully it's a gratifying kind of bittersweet, as Tom was saying earlier. Bittersweet, I think, is a great encapsulating term for the ending. I think fans will get what they want, and I also think it doesn't cheat. It doesn't gloss anything over or make anything too easy. But I think ultimately they'll get what they want to see.
We don't want to see the end.
Just into CNN, the new host of Jeopardy.
We don't want to see it end. No. Hello. The legendary Garland Green will be performing October 1st over at the Grand Ballroom. And of course, yours truly, Al Greer, will be the MC. That is Jealous Kind of Fella on 1690 WVON, the talk of Chicago. It's your Dr. Al Greer, flipping the 45s and playing the B-sides tonight on the duo of Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards. This is Chic.
keep.